Hi, pre-algebra. We're looking at more angle and line relationships. Okay, so I want you guys to try the warm-up. If you need to go back to your notes from yesterday to do it, you can do that. And then pause the video, and after you did the warm-up, you can check here again. All right, so for the first one, again, you should have paused the video and tried these on your own first. Now you're checking. So the first one, they have that 90-degree angle so that you know it's complementary, would be the classification. Okay, so our equation, we know that these two angles sum to 90 degrees. So we know that x plus the 2x minus 3 should be equal to 90 degrees. Okay, so this is going to give us 3x minus 3 equals 90 degrees. And we're going to add 3 to both sides. We're running out of room here. So we're going to get 3x equals 93. So we know that x is equal to 31 degrees. Okay, so for number 2, these two angles are right across from each other, so we know that they're vertical. And if you think about what we know about vertical angles, we know that they're equal. So our equation for this one would be x plus 100 should be equal to the 3x minus 10. Okay, so if we start solving this, we get our variables to the same side. And we bring our constants to one side. So we get 2x is equal to 110. Which means that x is going to be equal to 55 degrees. Okay. For number 3, these two angles form a straight line. So we know that two angles that form a straight line are supplementary. And we know that supplementary angles sum to 180 degrees. So we're going to make the equation 2x plus 40 should be equal to 180 degrees, which gives us 4x plus 40 equals 180. And we're going to just solve our equation here to get 4x equals 140. So then we're going to divide 140 by 4. And that's going to give us x is equal to 35 degrees. Okay, so hopefully you checked your warm-up answers. And again, if you had anything that you didn't get, make sure you make corrections on that. So for today, we're going to look at a couple more line and angle relationships. So the first thing we're looking at is parallel lines cut by a transversal and what that forms. So just remember, parallel lines are lines that never intersect. Okay, so a transversal is a line that intersects two or more lines. And when that happens, so like for example, this is the transversal here. And when that line intersects two or more lines here, it forms different types of angles. So the first angle that we're going to look at is corresponding angles. So corresponding angles are two congruent. So remember that congruent means equal. So two congruent angles that have the same position on the same side of the transversal. Okay, so in this example here, we have the parallel lines. And the other thing that you want to know about parallel lines is that these markings on the lines mean that they're parallel. So these little arrows mean that line A is parallel to line B. So if we are going to say that line A is parallel to line B, we have to use the correct notation. Okay, so we would say line A, and we would put the line above it, and then is parallel. So these symbols here mean that it's parallel to line B. Okay, so again, more notation that you need to make sure you're studying here. So this symbol means that the lines are parallel. Okay, and then they're asking for the transversal. So that would be line T here. Okay, and again, we're going to put the line marking over it, okay, to use the correct notation. So now they want us to name 4 pairs of corresponding angles. So again, corresponding angles are two congruent angles that have the same position on the same side of the transversal. So if we look over at the picture here, if you almost like cut this into half, if you look at this angle 1 and then look at the bottom half, angle 1 has the same position as angle 2 here. Okay, so angle 1 and angle 2 would be corresponding. Okay, so another pair, again, if you look at where angle 5 is on the top half, it corresponds and it has the same position to angle 6 here. So angle 5 and angle 6 would be corresponding. And same sort of thing, look at where angle 3 is. Okay, so angle 3 would be in the same position as angle 4. So these would also be corresponding. So then our last one here would be angle 7 and angle 8. Okay, so again, you're almost splitting like the top half and the bottom half, and then you're just matching the ones that have the same position. So alternate interior angles are, again, two congruent, again, so it's equal, angles that are, two congruent angles that are blank the parallel lines and on opposite sides of the transversal. Okay, so if you look at this, if we have angle 5, okay, and angle 4, okay, these are two angles that are inside. So that's what you want to know for alternate interior angles. Okay, so interior would mean that they're inside the parallel lines. Okay, and then another pair of alternate interior angles would be angle 7 and angle 2. Okay, so alternate interior, two congruent angles that are inside the parallel lines and on opposite sides of the transversal. So then you also have alternate exterior. Okay, so again, two congruent angles that are blank the parallel lines and on opposite sides of the transversal. Okay, so if I give you a pair here, so like angle 1 and angle 8, see if you can guess here. So two congruent angles that are blank the parallel lines. So alternate exterior, right? Exterior means that they're on the outside. Okay, so interior on the inside, exterior on the outside. So the other pair of alternate exterior angles, okay, would be angle 6 and angle 3. All right, and the last thing that we're going to look at today is adjacent angles. So adjacent just means that they're next to each other. So two angles that have a common side. Oh, sorry, common vertex, because it already says common side here. So they have a common vertex and a common side, but they don't overlap. Okay, so if you're looking at this picture here, the common vertex would be X here, right? And they have this common side as well. Okay, so if we're looking at this angle WXY, which is this angle here, would be adjacent to angle YXZ, which is this angle on this side. Okay, so two angles that have this common vertex of X here, and they have a common side, but they're not like overlapping each other. Okay, so we're going to look at this diagram. Again, they're giving us two parallel lines. We know they're parallel because they have the marking. So we're going to label if they're corresponding alternate interior, alternate exterior, vertical, or adjacent. So if you look at the first two, 2 and 3, okay, they're just across from each other, so we know that they're vertical angles. So then we have 4 and 5. Okay, so 4 and 5, they're inside the parallel lines. They're alternating across the transversal. So these would be alternate interior angles. Okay, so then we have 1 and 8. And again, they're on opposite sides of the transversal and they're on the outside. So these are going to be alternate exterior angles. All right, so we have 2 and 6. So 2 and 6, again, if we think about splitting this picture, 2 and 6 share that same position on the top and the bottom. So if they're sharing that same position, they're going to be corresponding angles. All right, and we have 3 and 7. So 3 and 7, again, they're sharing that same position. Okay, so these are also going to be corresponding. So then we go to 3 and 6. Again, they're inside the parallel lines on opposite sides, so they're going to be alternate interior angles. Okay, we have 5 and 8. So 5 and 8 are right across from each other, so we know that they're adjacent, or sorry, vertical. And we have 1 and 2. 1 and 2 are right next to each other. They share this common side and a common vertex, so we know that they're adjacent. 1 and 4, right? They're across from each other, so we know that they're vertical. 4 and 8 share the same position. Okay, so 4 and 8 would be corresponding. 6 and 7, again, they're across from each other, so they're vertical. And lastly here, 6 and 8 share that same side and that vertex, so they're adjacent. Okay, we can also use this to figure out measurements of angles that are missing. So this is find the measurements of the numbered angles in the diagram. And there's a bunch of ways that you can do this. So if we start with the 75, we can do this a bunch of different ways. So we could say, okay, angle 6 and 75 are vertical. So that means that this is also going to be 75. Okay, then we could say, okay, 6 and 3 are alternate interior. So this is also going to be 75. Then 3 and 2 are vertical. So this is also going to be 75. Okay, so then we could say, okay, well, 1 and 2, these form a straight line, right? So they're supplementary. So if they form a straight line, we know a straight line is 180 degrees. So if 2 is 75, we do 180 minus 75. So we know that 1 would be 85 degrees. Okay, so that 85 and 75 form this straight line to make it 180. Oh, that's not right. Subtraction is hard. Okay, 105, sorry. There we go. So then 1 and 4 would be vertical, right? So they would be the same. 4 and 5, alternate interior. Okay, so these would also be the same. And 5 and 7, also vertical, so they would also be the same. Okay, we can do the same thing with number 14. So if we know that this one is 125, 6 is also 125. So if we know 6 is 125, we can say, okay, 6 and 3 are corresponding, so this is 125. 3 and 1 are vertical, so that's 125. Okay, and then the same thing, if we want to try to figure out what the other missing angles are, we know that 1 and 2 form that straight line, so 180 minus 125 gives us 55. And then we can say, okay, well then 4 is 55, 4 and 5 are alternate interior, 5 and 7 are vertical. Okay, and the last thing here would be 15. If you have like 5x plus 18, and then this is 63, and these are corresponding, we can actually set up an equation here to solve this. So we're going to do 63 minus 18 to get 45, and x is going to be 9.